Hi there, this is James Tripp. This is Hypnosis Without Trance. This video is answering a question about hypnosis or doing hypnotic change work, this kind of thing, for insomnia, sleep difficulties. Now, this is in direct response to a question from a hypnotist from Ireland who has been doing street hypnosis, this kind of thing, and is shifting across to starting to do clinical work. Now, I got an email asking me, what are the kinds of things you want to consider when you have somebody who's coming in with sleep difficulties, sleep problems? So insomnia, what's it all about? The question is, what is it that's leading this person to not sleep well? Now, without a doubt, some people are just better sleepers than others. Who knows why? Who knows what the variables are? I've got two daughters. One of them, when she was a baby, she slept like a log. She was asleep all the time. The other one, we couldn't get her to sleep for anything. These are fresh, brand new babies, So there's something inherent there. There are different physiological mechanisms at play. That's the first thing to be aware of. However, even though that is the case, I strongly believe that everybody can improve the quality of their sleep. Whether you're a naturally good sleeper or not, wherever you're at, you can improve the quality of your sleep. So the question is, what is it that's getting in the way of the highest quality sleep that a person can possibly have? Now, if somebody comes to you as a hypnotist, it's very easy to go look at it through the eyes of a hypnotist, through those hypnosis lenses, and think, well, what do I do? Do I give them direct suggestions that from now on they will sleep more deeply? Do I do some kind of a process like a 6-step reframe process where I'm having the unconscious mind solve the problem or whatever? Those are all choices and they can make a difference, but they're not the be all and end all. Of course there's direct suggestion, of course there's bringing the unconscious mind to bear. But other times there are simpler things you want to look at. Now sometimes, you might see this as outside of your remit, but it's worth being aware of. Sometimes it's plain old physiological things. For example, are you aware that a magnesium deficiency will tend to lead to increased levels of low-level anxiety and disrupt sleep? Now, a lot of people aren't aware of that. A lot of people are also not aware that modern diets are very deficient in magnesium. Now, many people get a huge result in terms of sleep and in terms of anxiety and that kind of thing as well, simply by supplementing with a good magnesium supplement. Now, I recommend going out and doing some reading on this. You don't want magnesium oxide. There's very low bioavailability of magnesium. You want some kind of chelated magnesium or magnesium citrate or something like that. But something like that can make a huge difference. And people often find that their underlying anxiety levels drop down. They just sleep more easily. It's a huge thing. And if this is a problem, if this is a physiological problem, you can be hammering away with all the hypnotic suggestions you like and all the unconscious repatterning work that you like, and it's not necessarily going to help, okay? So that's one thing to be aware of. Another thing to be aware of is there some sort of stress pattern going on? Does this person have money worries? Do they have relationship worries? Is there something else? Is the insomnia really the problem, or is it a symptom of another issue? In that case, you want to find out how is it that they're relating to money? What's going on for them? How is it they're thinking about money and their situation that's creating stress? Or how is it they're thinking about their relationship and situation that's creating stress? You want to work at that point, at the work of the cause of the overactive mind or the anxiety that's keeping them from sleep. So that's, that's another area. Another area is basic habits. The number of times people have come to me for things like anxiety problems or sleep problems, and it turns out they're hammering back tons of caffeine throughout the day. So be aware of that. What's the caffeine intake like for this person? Other things can be, does this person, this is something I personally struggle with. It's a habit that I've done a lot of work to get out of, taking my iPad to bed, or at least spending a lot of time in the evening on the iPad. Computers, iPads, they emit a certain frequency of light which has a similarity to daylight and screws up our melatonin levels. So this is the hormone that governs our sleep rhythms. You're exposed to a lot of light that mimics daylight during the evening. That can be a huge factor. So some people, they need to look at these things. They need to minimize their exposure to this kind of light. They need to look at maybe supplementing with a good quality magnesium supplement, looking at removing the anxiety, the stress by changing their thinking around that. Another approach that you can use is to simply offer people solutions around, and I say simply, I don't mean just do this on its own and it will work. This can be part of the package, around where they place their mind and attention at night. Now, a lot of the time, this is an interesting thing that people aren't aware of, when they're thinking forward, they're thinking about the future, whether it be in a positive or negative way, that often is stimulatory. It stimulates. But when they think about the past, when they think about memories and places they've been, it tends to relax and calm down and take you into a more of a dream space. So I often recommend teaching clients to think about pleasant memories, to relive them, to go back there in their mind instead of thinking about current issues, current worries, or future issues and worries. So that can be a very useful tool, where and how they focus the mind. If you're going to read before you go to bed, read fiction. Don't read non-fiction. Don't read things that are going to fill you up with ideas and possibilities and all of this kind of stuff and information, because your mind is going to crunch the information over. If you read fiction, fiction is about stories and pulls you into more of a visualization space, which is more aligned with dreaming and sleeping and that kind of thing. So fiction reading is much more conducive. So essentially, some people have got a bunch of bad habits that are messing with their sleep, and you want to uncover what they are. They could be reading the wrong kind of stuff. They could be reading non-fiction. Maybe they're reading non-fiction on their iPad before they go to bed. Maybe they're on the iPad all evening. Maybe they are insufficient in magnesium. Maybe they don't do any exercise. That's a big thing as well. You know, a lack of exercise can really mess with sleep. So having a bit more of an active lifestyle. Maybe they're worrying about stuff. Then you want to deal with the worry, with the mechanisms of worry, how they're thinking about that, all of that kind of thing. So, and on top of all of that, you can give some straight suggestion work, do some unconscious mind shifting. There are many ways that you can help somebody make gains in terms of improving the quality of their sleep. I would recommend, don't think, well, I'm a hypnotist, so therefore I just give direct suggestions or I just ask the unconscious mind to fix it. Shift to a place of really serving that person. How can you serve that person in terms of helping them to improve the quality of their sleep, make gains in terms of the quality of their sleep? And of course, the more you know about this subject from all different perspectives, the more that empowers you to really serve them deeply and profoundly, and the more that increases your value as a consultant, so to speak. So that would be my recommendation. Come at this from multiple angles. But first and foremost, don't look at the sleep as the problem itself. Look at it as the symptom of something else. Okay, the lack of sleep as the symptom of something else. So find out what the causal factors might be. What is it that's getting in the way of good quality sleep, and help the person you're working with make changes at whichever levels they can.